very beautiful morning to you. You're welcome back. This is still Weekend Show. If you're just joining us, I hope you had a beautiful morning. My morning has been awesome. Except for David, who is a bit under the weather. I hope he gets well soon. I still remain Oluchi Carlo, and this is still the ABS Weekend Show. Today we're talking about something exceptional, something entertaining. We're talking about filmmaking in Nigeria. That's the Nollywood industry. Yes. And I have a filmmaker right here with me. She's been right into that industry. She's been making her own film since 2016. I stand to be corrected, Sha. And I'm talking about Colette Madike. Colette, you're welcome to Weekend Show.
Thank you.
So I was right.
Yeah, you're right. My first film I made myself was in 2016.
So what about the first film you actually starred in?
Oh, that was in 2014.
Wow. So 2 years into the industry, you started making your own film. Was it that simple?
No. It wasn't that simple. I was a beauty queen at the time I got my first role.
Okay.
And it was a series. So we shot that for almost a year plus. Mm-hmm. So being in front of the camera and also behind the camera shooting a series for a year plus, for me, that was film school.
Okay.
Film school when you're in the field learning and practicing what you're learning, and not just doing the theory part of it you should normally do, or people normally do in film school. So.
You know, I try to avoid talking about the fact that you're also a beauty queen because I felt less focused in the filmmaking. But now, obviously, you're trying to say that being a beauty queen had a role to play in your career as a filmmaker.
It was as part of endorsement for my crown that introduced me to filmmaking or being in the Nollywood industry. It wasn't something I dreamt of like so many people wanted.
Okay.
It was something that came because of the crown.
Okay, so let's dive a little into your history before we can come back to filmmaking. Now, how did you all start the film?
It started in 2014 when I won Miss Tourism Nigeria, barely a month after. No, this was barely a week even after. I was called for an audition for a movie, for a series at the time. And I'm like, I don't have any experience in film or acting, and I don't even know if I'm passionate about it. Okay. And my manager was like, you wouldn't know, just go for it. And then I went there. The director seeing me was like, wow, you have the presence, the personality of what I want, the looks of what I want, but we have to see if you can, because what we were doing at the time was something about the bank industry. You needed someone who can carry a lot of lines. You needed someone who actually looked the part. And then that was how it started for me. And then I think I went for like 3 months training on how to act and how to generally be in Nollywood industry, and that was how it started for me.
So it didn't really start with the crown, but the crown was like, it helped boost it.
Yeah, it was part of the prize for the crown.
No, I understand what you meant by it was part of the prize, but then, you know, some people, if it wasn't really their passion, they would drop it after the crown, but you didn't.
Oh, when I got on set, after the first week, 2 weeks, I saw it was fun. It was something I love to do, you know. I feel someone's career or what you do for a living should be something you enjoy doing. And I absolutely enjoyed filming, and, you know, passions change, I think. Okay. But one point that the director raised at the time when I was being like, oh, I'm a queen, you don't talk to me that way, was like, why you were a queen for 1 year? That's over. Your career as a model or a beauty queen has time frame. Okay. Basically starts from 18 to 30. And that's the life span of your career. You stop being a queen or stop being a model or whatever it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but as a filmmaker or as an actress is for the rest of your life. He gave me examples
so
of.
You had an option, choose.
Yeah, so you know, he was like, if this is, I know this is something that's going to be good for you. I know this is something that in time to come you would thank me for it. You're not saying it now. If only you would bend your head and work towards it, you will see what I'm doing for you. And That's what I'm seeing now, and that's I'm grateful to that director.
I'm really happy for you. I'm happy for you because a lot of people have been acting for years and they can't say this is my own film. And you acted for just 2 years and now you're a filmmaker. So what really motivated you to want to have your own and call this is mine?
You know, the first film I ever did, it's a series, a 30-episode series titled African Beauty. It was all about the pageant industry. There's so much to tell. There's so much to reveal to the world that I was so eager to tell. So when I got that platform, I told the story from an insider's perspective. Like,
okay, wait, that was your first film?
That was my first film, a series.
You started with a series?
Yes. It's titled African Beauty. It's about the pageant industry. What happens in camp, before camp, what happened with beauty queens and their directors and all of that stuff. It's just an expose into the industry.
Okay, so if you're still wondering who we're talking to, she's actually a beauty queen, not just a beauty queen, and she's like a beauty queen turned filmmaker. And you have 3 crowns, right? To your name or more?
Yeah, I have one national crown and 1 international crown.
Oh, you have an international crown. Yeah. Tell us about it. How was it?
1 year of being exquisite face of the universe. I'm still reaping from being once being an international beauty queen. You know, having Germany as my first runner-up, Angola my second runner-up, Aruba, mixing with girls, and I can comfortably tell you that any part of the world I want to go to now, I have someone to call and say, oh, I have a friend in this country, I have a friend in that country. So it still pays off up until today. So
before we get back to filmmaking, I want to ask, most people will say Nigeria don't have a good reputation in the international community. So how were you able to survive in camp and even during the pageant itself?
Yeah.
Representing Nigeria, and we all know like we have this black reputation.
Me, I don't see black reputation. I see it as the way you carry your country. For me, if you ever talk to me one-on-one, you know that whatever you say Nigeria is, I say Nigeria is better than most countries. I don't lie, I don't bring out our flaws. We all have flaws. Every country has flaws. I try to bring out the good part of Nigeria, because that's what I represent. Also, being Miss Tourism Nigeria, you know, it's a lot of things to talk about Nigeria. Not every time when people mention Nigeria, they see negative, but I don't see it that way.
Okay, so now back to filmmaking. If I want to be a filmmaker, what course, or does it have anything to do with my educational qualification?
Oh, well, I read English language and literature. My first degree, UNIZIG. Okay. I also have negotiation skills from University of Ghana, and then I have international relation in VIEW masters. Okay. So it has nothing to do with film, but I think if you take extra classes, extra lessons, field work, it would actually advance your knowledge into filmmaking.
Okay, now let's go straight into the reason why you're here today. And we're talking about the Oblivion, her film. Her first film was actually in 2016, and we are in 2019. She has another film, and it's not your second, right?
It's my second, actually, because the first one is a series, a 30-episode series.
Okay, so this is her second film. I'd like to show you a thriller of that film when it's ready. My producer is behind the camera. He's going to give us that film. He's going to signal us once it's ready. But let me ask, what do I expect from this film?
Oh my God. The Oblivion movie. It's a trailer. It has to do with family story, romance, it's thrilling. It's a mix. I call it a perfect mix of everything.
A perfect mix of everything. Let's see it.
Would we choose to accept it? Is to intercept this money before it gets to the vault.
And then, boom!
I've loved your head.
When you leave that legacy in your home before going out there.
Does anyone want some water?
No!
I'll go get a well-brought-up young girl that will give us as many children as we want. Now you can talk.
So you're saying you don't recognize this lady?
I didn't do anything.
Shit is about to get real right now.
I don't look too bad myself.
Do you even still love me?
What kind of a prodigal son is this?
Shit is about to get real right now.
We'll get them back, sir, along with the money.
All this one will be long story.
Well, she was right. It's a little of everything. Star Park, the actions. You want to watch it, right? I do too. So, if I want to watch that movie, let me start with that. Before I get down to asking you, like, how we were able to gather, like, the whole stars I saw there. If I want to watch the movie, does it take?
For now, we're premiering the Oblivion movie for the first time ever in Anambra State, Oka precisely.
Wow.
I brought this home because, I want to promote our own. I want to show Anambra State. By the way, this film was shot completely in Anambra State. Everybody you saw in that film came to Anambra State to shoot that film. I wanted to give them, most people don't even, they think if you want to do a good movie, you have to go somewhere else, you have to go to other states. No, we have it all in Anambra State. You can get a great movie that would beat
So you're saying if I watch that thriller again, I'm going to see places I know?
Obviously, there are places because everything was shot in Oka here. Anambra, Oka, and then its environs, but Anambra State.
Okay, maybe later I'll actually view it again. So what's it all about? Can you give me like a recap? Last time you said a little of everything. What's the story all about?
It's a family man that was retrenched from his job, and he set out to pay his ex-employer for retrenching him without benefits and all of that stuff. Meanwhile, he had problems at home he was facing before his work came into place.
Please. I think I want to watch it. That will be a spoiler, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how were you able to gather? Because I noticed like most of the people in the movie, the stars in the movie, are people we can relate to it.
Yeah.
They are like Igbos. I'm not sure I saw anybody that is not Igbo from what I just saw. How were you able to gather them and bring them to Anambra State? Because most times we see them in Asaba, sometimes in Enugu, but more especially in Lagos. How were you able to drag them home?
Well, let me start from the Igbo part. It was not planned. Like I just casted, and I casted people who fit into that role. It was not intentional. Putting it Igbo or anything. It was not the plan.
Okay.
But I brought all of them to Anambra State, and they were here for the 15 to almost 20 days we shot the film. They were all here, and filmmaking in this scale is not cheap. It's really demanding financially, and it's just a struggle every filmmaker go through.
Okay, so now my next question is, what inspired this movie?
This one.
The first one was a 13 series.
30 episode.
30 episodes, sorry, it was a series, 30 episodes. And now this one, you decided to bring it home. What inspired it?
Even my first one, I shot part of it home because home is where the heart is. Yeah. Even though the story was about beauty pageants and Nigeria generally, I made sure that I shot a greater part of it in Anambra State. But for this one, everything completely was in Anambra State. And the inspiration of this story is actually how intriguing it is. This is for passion. This is to promote our place. If you see the movie, you will see everything that has been used here in the movie is international standard.
Yeah,
I want people to see that Anambra State, Oka precisely, is not a bush as you think. Mm. We have all these things here. It's more like Anambra to the world.
Okay, so Anambra to the world. Anambra to the world. Now, how was it? Okay, I want to ask, most times it's very difficult for some people to work with a woman especially when she's a young woman? Is it different with the film industry? Because you're a young girl now and you're the filmmaker, so obviously you were like the one that calls the shots in that movie. How is it possible for some of those big guys to look at you and say, Madam, you don't dictate to me what I do?
Well, let me start from saying it takes a village to make a film.
Okay.
What I mean by it takes a village to make a film, I mean the number of people. You have a director, you have an associate producer if you want to, you have a producer, you have an executive producer, you have the actors, you have a continuity person, you have a script supervisor, you have...
But still, a lady calls the shots.
Yeah.
How is it possible? How were you able to cope?
Well, I say he who plays the piper dictates the tone. You know, if I'm paying you to an extent, you have to listen to me.
Okay.
You know, we all have collective interest to make a good film. So if I'm saying something that is in line with making a good film, of course that's our common interest. Everyone should listen.
So you're trying to tell me now that the film industry is a bit different from the outside world, where people find it difficult working with a lady.
It depends on what you find difficult exactly, because...
No, I'm not talking about me, but I know there are some men that find it difficult having a woman call the shots.
I give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. I mean, in terms of respect. You see someone who's a veteran in the industry, you address them appropriately. It's not because they're on your set that you will not respect them or give them, oh, this is what this person wants. You give it to them because you also want something from them.
Okay, so now, how have you survived? Because I know mostly when a woman, or let me narrow it down, when a lady gets to the top, you hear a lot of side. People are like, how did she get there? You get my point?
Okay.
Like, a lot of ladies, now you're a young girl, and I know most people your age have not been able to attend the height you've attended. How do they, like most times, don't you see people criticizing you, saying, that one, how did she get there?
I feel it's their own limitation.
Oh.
I feel it's their own limitation because I'm a big thinker. I dream big. Right from when I was little, my mom would call me Yoruba. And you know why she calls me that? When I was little, I would say, I would do this, I would do that. And she'd be like, you're just small and you're saying you want to do all these big things. That's how you want to make mouth or something. I've always inspired very high. And I've worked hard. I don't just inspire or wish it. I am out there. I am pushing boundaries. I am working. I am not letting being a woman in a man's world limit me.
Okay. All right, so now there are a lot of upcoming artists. Luckily for you, you entered the industry through The Crown.
Yeah.
There are some people who
played
have been...
the lead.
Huh?
My first role was the lead. I played the lead.
You see, there have been people who have been going from audition to audition, from one audition to another audition. They keep referring to themselves as upcoming artists, but they never get that lead. You get? Some get discouraged and drop. I do talk to people that will say, yeah, I used to act, and I keep wondering, like, what made you stop? So what advice do you have for people like this who don't have that platform to drop them on the top or drop them on the lead, and they have to start from the scratch? Because some people say that the Nigerian film industry is very discouraging. You've heard it a lot, right? Where they say it's very discouraging, that sometimes the producer will want to sleep with you, or they want you to bring something to the table before they start you in the movie. Now you're there, so obviously you can tell us what is there. What's your advice to people who are feeling discouraged towards joining the industry?
I will start by saying I didn't just get there. I worked for it. Before I even won my first crown was my 7th pageant. So I will go, I will fail, I'll come back, I'll go again. I didn't drop. After winning my first crown, it gave me that pedestal. It's the same thing with you who your dream has always been to be an actor. That you fail the first time, you fail the second time. You keep trying. You know, you don't just give it up because one person that lacks morale asks you to sleep with them. There are other filmmakers that do not need anything from you other than your talent. Now, the problem is some people do not even have this talent. They don't want to better themselves or improve themselves, and they just want to magically get a role. You have to dress how you want to be addressed.
Okay, so let's get back to the Oblivion. Let me see one of the flyers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is the movie premiere and it's happening. Can you tell me all I need to know about the event?
The Oblivion movie premieres tomorrow, Sunday, 14th July at Annabelle Cinema. Oh, I didn't tell you, there's a standard cinema in Oka.
Really?
The first one in Anambra State. When I mean a standard cinema, it matches the standard of Genesis, Film 1 and all of other cinemas you can think of in Nigeria. Yes, it is opening for the first time in Oka, and Oblivion movie is the first movie it is showing. So I see this as groundbreaking and history making. It's the main event. The red carpet starts at 3 p.m. main event, 5 p.m. Annabelle Hotel and Suite. There's a cinema at Annabelle Hotel.
So if I want to get to Annabelle Hotel, how do I get there?
From Unisic Junction, Thameside.
Okay.
It's a straight road down as you're heading towards Opuno. By your left, the signpost is there. It's along the road. The signpost Annabelle is there.
Okay, and the cinema is inside the hotel?
Yes, there's an event center inside the hotel, and the cinema is on the second floor.
Okay, so I don't know what you're waiting for. The flyer is right there on your screen. Just go through it. And I'm sure you don't want to miss it because it was actually shot right here, and as you can see, it's star-packed. You can see some of the people you expect to see. Daniel K. Daniel is there. Colette, my dear, right here is there. We have Patience Ozokwo. We have Charles Okocha, Bob Manuel Udoku, and the rest of them. So I don't know what you're waiting for. And it's not that expensive. Now, I can see if I want the ticket, how do I get the tickets?
There's a number to call for your ticket, or you can also get it at the venue at Annabelle.
Okay, so if you can't access the flyer to get the numbers to call, which we will still bring to your screen so you can actually write down the number to call. You can also get it at the venue. You can get it on that day, right?
Yes, you can get
tomorrow.
it on that day. Yeah, tomorrow.
So time?
Red carpet starts at 3 p.m., main event 5 p.m. And
no African timing or a little African timing?
No African time. Can we stop being Africa for 1 minute and just come on time?
Okay, so let's talk about funding. How easy is it for a lady who is not really so known as a filmmaker, more known as a beauty queen and actress? How is it for you to convince? How were you able to gather the finance?
Oh, well, this was solely funded.
Okay, solely funded.
Yeah.
I like to leave it at that. I don't want to tap more into it. So if I want to be a filmmaker, what's your advice? Like your advice for me from the scratch. Let me say, I'm still a jambite, not yet in the university. Is there a particular course I should go for, or I should forget it? When do I start? If I want to be a filmmaker, how do I start? When do I start? Must I start from acting? Must I start from a film school? How is the best way to start?
I always tell people, whatever it is you want to do in life, just do it. Do. Don't wait for time to be a filmmaker. Wherever you can start from, start. You have an idea about a film. Tell it to somebody that you feel is in the industry, and don't let nobody discourage you or tell you that you're not good enough or you are new or who do you think you are to come and want to dominate this industry. Just do it. Procrastination has killed a lot of dreams, saying that, I have to wait to go to a film school first before I start, or I have to have... There are people who just come on screen for the first time and you are amazed and you're like, wow. Those kind of people, if they keep waiting for the time to go to film school to start, it will be late. It doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. Just start. Just do.
Just do. Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the film Oblivion. It was actually shot right here in the heart of Anambra State. That's Oka, the capital. I would like to see that thriller again to know if I can recognize some parts of the town. So, producer, let's see the thriller again, and then maybe we can round up on this.
Accept this money before it gets to the vault.
And then,
boom! I've loved your head.
you leave that legacy in your home before going out there.
Does anyone want some water? No! I'll go get a well-brought-up young girl that will give us as many children as we want. Now you can talk.
So you're saying you don't recognize this lady?
I didn't do anything.
Shit is about to get real right now.
I don't look too bad myself.
Do you even still love me?
What kind of a prodigal son is this?
Shit is about to get real right
We'll get them back, sir, along with the money.
now. All this one will get long story.
I don't know if you saw your house. I saw my street there. If you didn't see yours, then you had to come to the event proper. You might actually see your room there. Now we're talking about the film. It's going to be premiering for the first time in the entire world, and it's going to be happening right here in Oka, in a standard cinema that just opened. So obviously, if you go there, you might actually find out that you just fall in love, and you might keep returning. Now, this film is right there on your screen, so copy down the number because it might help you get the ticket. We have the tickets. Regular is 10,000 naira, VIP is 25,000 naira, and VVIP is 50,000 naira. And it's so going to worth it for you, I bet, because from what I'm seeing, I see my street, and my street, you know, they're for Okay, so am I invited?
Yeah, I'm gonna present
Oh my
you
God.
your
Did
own
you just
invite.
see that? Okay, so guys, I'm going to be there too. As you can see, I just got mine. I don't know what you're waiting for. Just call the number on your screen and be part of the show. And caller, do you have any final advice?
My final advice is to young people, you know, most times women especially, most times we get discouraged because there are not a lot of women doing it. You know, you can be the first in any aspect of life, not movie making, not only movie making, you know, whatever you want to do. Don't be discouraged saying, oh, I'm a woman. And don't let anybody tell you, you know, so just go for what you want, aim high, work hard, especially working hard pays. Like if you put your heart and soul to what you do, trust me, it pays. It will pay off at the end.
Okay, why be fair and working hard pays, and this is coming from a young lady who had to go through the whole pageant world 7 times before she got her crown. She never gave up, and now she is not just a queen, she is also a filmmaker, and I'm sure there are other things she does. Now, we don't want to talk about that. Thank you so much for coming on Weekend Show. Thanks so much for my tickets. I'm
You're
definitely
welcome.
going to be there. Now, this is where we'll be ending the discussion segment of today's edition of the Weekend Show. Don't forget that we still have breakfast news. Amaka will still be here, and I will still be here for the social media trend. You don't want to touch the star.